Hey, Sean, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you, Kevin?
Doing great, doing great. Scotch neat?
Absolutely. Same thing.
Gotcha.
Creature of habit.
So what'd you think of Asa Guy?
It was interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited about this week's
Yes, me too.
person for sure.
So we've got Kelley Hammond. She is actually the mother of Tyler Hammond, a fellow comedian here in Indianapolis. I've done some traveling with him to do some open mics together, and he's a really funny guy. We had a great conversation. You're really gonna like it.
Yes, and Kelly is a lot of fun and very not conservative. Had a fun time in Key West while she was
Her
there.
husband is, though, which goes to show tolerance goes a long way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that'll
absolutely.
just be one click.
There we go. Subscribe.
Alrighty.
Yeah, thank you.
So the social cause we're supporting today is the LA wildfires. And
LA Wildfires Relief.
LA Wildfires Relief. And we will put a link in the description of the post. If you want to help those people out, just click. They help out the school systems in the area.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm excited. Thank you.
All right. Enjoy the show.
I will.
Hey guys, Kevin Harstone here. Welcome to episode 5 of Oldies But Goodies, where I interview the older generations of humanity and get their wisdom and life experience to share with the world. Today we got
Kelley Hammond.
Kelley Hammond. Kelley, first off, I went to Ohio this week with your son, who is a comedian. Tell us a little bit about him. What's his name?
Tyler Lee James Hammond.
Oh.
Sorry, I guess I shouldn't use his middle name.
No, that's right.
I call him Lee, but yeah.
Okay, so how long has he been doing comedy?
Since he could talk.
I love he really. So this is one thing I tell him all the time. I'm super jealous of him because he's naturally funny. Like
Totally
he's
naturally.
just always being. He's always telling jokes, and I actually had to put effort into it. I got I got kind of lucky by just finding this book. I read this book, understood joke structure, and then it just kind of started working well for me. But this guy, he is the king of one-liners. And so me and him went to Bricky's this week. Both killed it. It was a great time. We're going down to Louisville, Kentucky this Wednesday.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, so we're super excited about that. So, yeah, what's one funny story you can tell us about Tyler?
Oh my gosh. Oh wow, I had like a million of them right here. Okay, this one time, God, there's tons of them. So I remember when he had his first laugh, very first laugh of a comedian. I couldn't quit making him stop laughing. Actually, I made him laugh so hard he cried because I kept tickling him because his laugh was insanely infectious. Let's see, the funny thing, I rented a house in Waldron with an older lady. Her name was Jen. It was her house. And the first impression was her pulling out and driving around seeing Tyler's ass cheeks on the window. And then she called me and I was like, I'm sorry. And he was just saying hi to the neighborhood. That's just his way.
I could totally see that.
Yeah.
All right, now we'll get back to you. Kelley Hammond.
Hello.
Where did you grow up? Tell us a little bit about where you grew up, where you're from.
Waldron, Indiana.
Okay. For those of those aren't Indianians, where's Waldron?
Waldron is on the outskirts of Shelbyville, Indiana.
Okay.
And it's got one school, one grocery store. Everybody knows everybody. Some guy told me my phone was ringing when I was sweeping the floors because I couldn't hear it. He stopped and knocked on my door to tell me my phone. It was just really small. Tyler went to the same school I went to, and almost all the same teachers.
Wow. So and you're taking care of your mother right now, Tyler's grandmother, right?
Meemaw.
And so Meemaw. So she's still around. Is your father still around? Or brothers, sisters?
I'm an only child, so is he. It seems to run in the family. I didn't like that labor process, so I was one and done.
I get that.
Too much work. My goodness.
All right, so
it's like Alien, but down there.
I was honestly I'm so grateful I wasn't born a girl because that is oh gosh. Well, you got the once a month thing. You got the.
I told everybody I was glad I had a boy because I just had to worry about one penis and not 10,000 penises.
awesome.
So I'm grateful he was a boy. I really am.
Yes. Well, you got a good one.
I did.
You got a good one.
I did. I picked the right one.
He's a good kid.
Yeah.
And okay, so your first memory. Can you tell us anything about what's the first memory you can remember? It doesn't necessarily have to
About
be on point.
me?
Yeah, just in life.
Oh
How
my
old
God.
were you?
I
What
got-
happened? Where were you?
My first, well, one of my memories, my stepbrother hit me with a baseball accidentally. That was one. I don't
How
know.
did that? Tell us about how that happened.
Building forts. We built forts. We grew up in the country, so the only thing to do was either ride your bike a mile to the neighbor's house or make out or smoke cigarettes or make forts in the cornfields. So that was my childhood.
Wow. And so, okay, you did say this. So, how many people were in your graduating class? About how big of a? Let's put it.
28, 30.
28, 30. So about 100 kids in your whole high school.
Yeah.
Wow. That was what kind of? So if was it cliquey? What clique were you in?
Very cliquey. It was
Okay.
the typical. You had your 3 cheerleaders that were the most popular.
Yeah.
And then you had your nerds and I remember doing hair, and people that I used to go to school with asked me about like Mr. Huffman's class, and he was like, we were so stoned, and nobody offered to smoke weed with me back then. I must have been a church kid because I never remember smoking weed in school, but everybody else did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're growing up here, what's the place called again? Greenville?
Waldron.
Green. Wow.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
okay.
my memory's not the best.
Mhm.
So when you're growing up in Waldron,
Mhm.
you had an idea of what your future might have looked like. What did you
I
want
was
to be?
always a hairdresser. Because all the kids in school would ask me to do their hair after gym, and my mom, she turned into a model after she lost a bunch of weight, and I did her hair for her modeling. I was just always meant to be a hairdresser.
Yeah.
I was always naturally good at people's hair.
And so, how long have you been? You do that now? Because your son told me that you did
quit
bartending and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
just on the side.
He said you had like an interesting story. You bartended for a band or like some famous person or something. I can't remember. Do you have any funny, cool stories about being a bartender?
I did hair in Broad Ripple, and
Okay.
I shaved the drummer's hair on stage.
For what band?
I think it was. I forget who it was. That's another thing that goes with a memory. I forget who it was, but it turned out to be a popular band. And then I did hair on a cruise ship once. I did hair in
Cool.
Key West.
Whoa.
I did hair for Sasha Sushi. She was the drag queen in Key West. She's pretty famous, but nobody else knows who she is. But she was dropped every year they had a huge high heel shoe. Instead of dropping the ball, they dropped the drag queen. Yeah,
That's
and she
super
was
cool.
Yeah, she was like 7 years straight.
Oh, that's
She's very famous
cool.
in Key West.
Oh, cool. I love Key West. Me and my
Yeah.
ex-wife went there for a couple weeks one time.
Most people stay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was like we met so many people, made like a lot of friends, and like went to the drag shows. I got pulled on stage.
Oh my
and,
gosh, the first
the little motorboat in the
experience.
titties and all the good
Okay,
stuff.
so I came from Waldron. There are obviously no drag shows near Shelbyville, Waldron.
Mhm.
Maybe in Indianapolis back in the days, but it was secret and it was hidden. Well, when I moved to Florida, coming from Waldron, coming from very strict, don't bring a black man home, don't be gay. I begged Tyler to be gay so we could have a hair shop, but he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. But anyway, coming from Waldron, going to Florida, and my very first experience was Ybor City.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know where that's at?
No.
In Tampa, known for drag queens. So I'm like from Waldron going, some dudes in his tighty whities walking down the street, and I'm like, oh my God. And I don't know how I became so free, but I really think it was my son because he was very open-minded naturally. He didn't like the N-word.
Oh.
Even though he was from a mainly white area.
Yeah.
So I was kind of the same way. And my very first experience with a drag queen, she came up and pinched my nipples and said, "Oh, girl, are those real?" And I was like, "Yes." And I pinched hers. And I was like, "Are yours?" And she was like, "No, it's my couch cushion." I was was great.
Where was that at? Was that in Key West?
Yeah, that was in Key West, but my first experience was Ybor City, and it was a drag queen wearing tight and whities. And I talked to her for hours because I was like, "You're so weird." Compared to me, scrunchy,
Very cool. I love
small
it.
town girl.
Yeah, no, cool. It sounds like you had a cool life.
And then I worked at Skins. Sorry.
Okay, Skins. What's Skins? I'm
A
not
fully
familiar with
nude place in Tampa.
it. Okay.
First strip joint I worked in, but I didn't strip.
Uh-huh.
I was house mother in the back because I was waiting for my hair license when I moved to Florida. So I got a job doing hair for strippers in the dressing room.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's super.
No, actually, I had just taken him to college in Pennsylvania. He got kicked out eventually for smoking weed in the dorm, but yeah, I had just taken him to college, so I was in Florida doing my thing, being a house mom to a bunch of strippers.
At Skins, is Skins still around?
Skins, I don't know.
Okay,
I probably.
What part of Florida is it in?
That was in Tampa.
Okay. Oh, I go to a reggae music festival at St. Pete all the time.
That's where I moved out first, St. Pete.
Oh, cool.
In a sailboat.
And actually, I've been telling Sean about this. So when me and my ex-wife went there, we stayed at this gay resort. And, I was supposed to live with my wife.
Did they keep the doors open? That's how you know to come in and have fun.
Oh, I don't remember that.
It
but
is.
I'm so shocked that you stayed at a gay resort in Florida. They're all men. It's very
yeah.
Well, there's the hags that hang out with the gay men there.
All right. So if there's one thing from your childhood that you had that the youth of today do not have, what would you bring back for the youth of today?
No internet.
No internet.
I think that totally ruined everything.
What about cell phones?
I was back when pagers started coming out, VCRs. Yeah, phones, period. I don't think we need to track everybody like we do these days.
I remember having a phone. My parents, I use the phone so much to talk to girls. My parents finally got me my own phone line.
Yeah.
So I had my own phone line, and I had a couple girls I would talk to a lot, like for hours at it all the time. And
back in my day, we just had to dream about it and masturbate about it.
Well,
I'm serious. And now it's like, it's so real. You can go get laid down the street.
Yes. Well, one thing is, like you mentioned about the knowing where everybody is. It's like, I think about that. I'm like, I was pretty young, so I was like in high school when I got my first cell phone. So it's hard to remember a lot, and I wasn't really dating. But like, man, that would have drove me nuts. Like, you got a girlfriend, you're like, don't even know where she is, like calling that, Like, yeah.
It was nice. That
freedom. I'm sure that was probably gay. Yeah, people are a little too needy, maybe now, a little extra sensitive now because of it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So on the other side of the coin, something that the youth of today have that you didn't have as a child
is a cell phone, definitely.
Okay.
Is a cell phone, definitely. Let's see. You didn't have hovering parents like they do now.
Yes.
You're allowed to be a kid.
Yes.
And make mistakes. That was very important.
Yes. And I will say this much. So, like, this is my theory. I'm not even a parent saying this, but I think the worst thing you can do to your child is give them an easy life.
Gosh, yeah. Toys, everything.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, me, for instance, I'm always getting in trouble. Got kicked out of school, arrested, all this stuff. My parents always get me. I never learned that there was consequences, so I finally got myself in so much trouble. No attorney could get me out of jail. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Then the law was there.
And then that sucked. You know what I mean? And don't take it the wrong way. I'm grateful for my parents, everything they did for me.
Yeah.
But I do think they kind of, they hold their hand a little too much, and they don't, just. I think you need to suffer and learn to grow, right?
Well, I remember one time. Tyler, I always got him old cars so he could work on them because that's what he went to college for, believe it or not. It was Wyotech. But that's only because
Wyotech?
The NHRA School of NASCAR. That's where Tyler went to college in Pennsylvania. Only because they came to his school and pressured all the kids. Hey, either it's Army or it's Wyotech, and he was like, "Mom, Wyotech." So I forgot what was I saying.
Um,
What was I saying? What were we saying?
well, okay, so
We're not even
you were-
smoking
some-
pot.
we were talking about kids and getting stuff.
yeah, kids having too much, and something about Tyler, I forget
We were
too.
talking about like kids not being.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you were saying.
Accountable as much, maybe not anymore as they used to.
It's gone. It's gone, guys.
That's
It's
all
gone.
right. That's all right. That's
gone.
all right. Okay. Well, anyways,
Years of marijuana use. Years.
so yeah, no, I do agree with you though. I think kids.
Oh, I got it.
all right.
If you're interested.
She's got it.
So I would get him a bunch of old cars to work on, Wyotech. That's why I sent him a Wyotech. He was interested because he was a boy, and I think he thought that's what he had to do. So I came home one day after doing hair. I was a single mom forever with him because he didn't like other men. Very selfish. And anyway, so I came home. I don't know why I looked out in the garage. The truck was gone. I knew there was no license plate, no floorboard, so it was like, Flintstones. And it was gone, so I called the cops on him, and I said, "You better get to him before I do." And I found him in the park. The cop was driving away because he just left Tyler to my vices. And I grabbed him out of the truck, and I pulled him by his ear because that's the only way to take care of a tall kid. Yeah, and I threatened the other kids. I remember that. So
I love it. I love it.
yeah.
All right. So tell us about.
But usually people coddle their children. I was
Yes.
like, I'm about to throw your ass in jail.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a happy medium, right?
Yeah.
And it sounds like you probably found it. I mean, he's a good
Well, I
guy.
had to. There was no man in the house, so I
Yeah,
had to be tough
yeah.
on him.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. So my mom she always let me get away with everything. So my dad had to be the disciplinarian, or I would have ran the house. You know what I mean?
I
And I
had to have
still
the
kind of
penis
did
and the
anyways.
vagina. I had to do it all. So.
Well, we're glad you made it through it.
Thank
and
you. Thank you.
Tyler
Thank
made
you.
it through it. And look at what he's doing today. And looks like, yeah, you did well. You did well.
He's a good-hearted guy.
He is a good-hearted guy.
Yeah.
He really is. Okay, what is the biggest risk you've ever taken in your life that had the highest return on investment? Not necessarily financially. It can be financial.
Buying a sailboat.
Okay, tell us about that. Where'd you learn how to sail, first of all?
Okay, so anytime I went to Florida, I always loved the boating community. I thought it was really cool because people would live aboard their boats, and I just thought that was insanely cool. And I found a boat online. I bought it. I sat on it. I flirted with other guys, and they taught me how to sail. I never gave up the cookie, but I learned how to sail.
Very cool. And
Because these eyes and these boobs and these nails.
Where was that? That was in
St.
Florida?
Pete, Florida, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Right by the pier, if you know about St. Pete. I don't think the pier is anymore. I think they tore it down. I'm not sure.
I know.
The structure was messed up, but the marina right by the pier is where I lived.
Oh, cool. How cool. I think it's called something park. I'll have to look it up.
St. Pete Marina.
No, Vineyard Park or what's the place where the music festival's at?
Oh, they have like plays. Like they had the Rocky Horror Picture Show one year, and then they had, the music festival.
Yeah. I think
they have racing there. Yeah. They have boat shows.
Yeah.
They have
beautiful
cool
area.
Stuff. Yeah,
it's amazing.
There's a lot of famous people actually from St. Pete.
So what is your biggest regret in life? If you have one.
Not paying attention to my bodily health.
Okay.
I wish I would have been more healthy to do more things, so I could have done more.
Yeah.
But now I'm like 51, and there's a point in your life where you realize, holy shit, it might be like my chance, it might be over.
No, it's not over. You're going to be here with us for a long time.
Yeah.
Me, Sean, and Tyler, and a couple other of us comedians got a good group together. And you got to stick around to see us blow up the scene here.
No, over for like, you get to a certain point in your life, you're like, oh shit, the searching for your career is over. The the brand new, the
Well, I can tell you this. I'll be 37 next month, and I've been doing comedy just a few months.
really, that's it.
Yep, just a few months. I've gotten really lucky. I've worked really hard at it, though, and met really great people. We got our podcast. We got our other channel. I got, and all these
Yeah.
great things are happening. So I don't necessarily believe in it's too late to do necessarily anything. I mean, I don't know if you should really, make a goal to be an attorney or something.
Oh no, I have another goal. No, I have another goal. Like I guess I'm just talking about your youth is over.
Oh yeah, well that's not. I don't feel that's true. You're still very youthful. I mean, you look youthful. You act youthful.
Yeah.
I mean, your son's a comedian, so you're gonna
right.
be. Yeah.
Right,
oh
right,
yeah.
right.
But I get it because it is different.
It is different.
And when I say to my husband, like, my 20s were my best time, he's like, what about now? I'm like, now is great. I'm loving now.
Right.
But in reflection,
It's
like,
different.
I wish I had taken a little bit more.
Wish you would have done a little bit twerking, tweaking.
Yeah, I try to tell people in their 20s now, I'm like, just enjoy. Every time you hear someone in their 20s say, I'm so tired, I'm getting old, I'm like, no, you need to enjoy it.
Oh
You're
yeah.
not getting old.
You're not old till you're in the recliner, is what I say.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
But no, I have future. We're going
Yes.
RVing.
Oh heck yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Tell us about that. Where are you gonna go? Okay, well first of all, that actually.
Yeah, okay.
So your son Tyler.
Yes.
Speaking of RVs, lives on a bus. A very cool bus.
I remember when it was just seats of a bus.
Yeah, tell us about how he got that, where that idea came from. Has he always planned on doing something like that, or where did
No, he just got the idea. He was just like, I think he wanted a place of his own, and I think that's just what he did. He heard about people living in a bus, and he did it.
Yeah.
And that's just how he's always been. That's how I've always been.
Yeah,
So.
it's very cool. Did you help him with any of the work? That's because he
No, he did
done
all
a lot to it.
himself.
Done all himself. Very
Himself, little at a time.
Cool. Wow, very cool. So tell us about the RV thing. What's this? What's the RVing?
After my mom crosses the bridge, we're going to. I know that sounds cold.
I was like, I don't know.
I
if
know
I'm supposed
that
to laugh
sounds cold, but
No.
I mean, that's how we deal with stuff in our family's laughter.
Hey, I'm like the darkest comedian in the city, and I tell people all the time, like, would you rather cry or laugh about it? If I offend you, I'll apologize.
Exactly.
And if you don't like it, don't come to my show. Like,
I talk about stuff that upsets people, I feel like, all the time. Like, I say masturbation, and people are like, ha. I'm like, whatever. Everybody does it. Every single person does it.
Yes.
Unless you're weird or you're a truck. But anyway, again, I forgot what I was
the
saying.
RVs.
Yeah, so yeah, after she crosses the bridge, we're gonna sell the house, buy an RV, and go to RV camps for 6 months at a time.
Wow.
Every place. And then the place that we like, we're gonna pop the tires and die.
Wow. That sounds super cool.
Right. And I'm gonna learn how to cut little Pomeranian and Yorkies because that's all RV people have. And I'm gonna cut people's hair at the RV park. And Bobby's just gonna get whatever job. He's always wanted to be a hibachi cook. And I'm like, try that out for 6 months and then quit.
Yeah.
So let's just try different jobs. So
heck yeah,
that's what
dude. That sounds so cool. Do you have any plans like where you're gonna start, or do you know like?
No, I already bought the book from Amazon, Journaling Your Journey or whatever.
Okay.
I haven't really. I want to look for like odd places. Like I remember in Florida, I found there's like the toilet seat museum. You know, they make toilet seat art.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Just unique, odd places. If you Google it, there's places all over Indiana.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate in my life. I've had to have a lot of cool experiences, and I've had to have some pretty cool things in my life too. And one of Jim Carrey's, my favorite quote from him,
favorite actor,
is that he says he wishes everybody's dream would come true, because then they would realize that's not the answer.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they want to drive a Ferrari, they want to live in the big mansion, but I'm telling you, I'd rather spend the next year going to 50 different countries and have all the experiences in the world than have a Ferrari, personally. Because
everybody wants what they don't have.
Yes.
And my mother, she is not doing anything with the end of her life. She's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Painting stuff, and it just breaks my heart.
That sucks. It is sad, but I remember my grandmother had dementia, and that was really tough on my family. But she was in a nursing home, and the fact you're doing this, that's very I look
To
up to
tell you
that.
the truth, I've looked at nursing home. Okay, so she had her stroke, and the doctors were like she can't live on her own. So I'm like, okay, I'll fucking do it. Because me and my mom never got along, but I'm all she has.
Yeah.
So I've looked at nursing homes. They're all so expensive,
Hmm.
and I'm not letting her go to one that doesn't change her diaper. So that's why I'm taking care of her.
Good.
You know
Well,
what I
you're a
mean?
good daughter. That's awesome.
Ugh.
I look up to that. Okay, so
It's just one fall down the stairs. No, I'm sorry, Mom.
all right, so I'm changing bodies here. Oh God.
I'm just teasing. I told her heart doctor because he told us some bad news one time. I was like, well, is it time to take her to the vet? He was like, excuse me? I was like, well, it's cheaper.
It's true.
He just was like, we just love
Uh-huh.
humor like that.
Yeah, no, I'm the exact same way.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm changing bodies right now.
Okay.
I'm now an 18-year-old kid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm graduating from high school tomorrow. What is the one piece of advice you would give me for entering into adulthood?
Try not to be afraid
Okay.
because fear has stopped me several times.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid. Okay. Same question, but I'm me again. 37 next month.
I'm sorry about the sweating hormones are getting me.
I'm sweating too, but I'm only sweating.
Okay.
So 37 next month. I'm an ex-convict. I'm an entrepreneur. I've made a bunch of money in the past. I've lost all of it before. We're coming back on top.
So you're human.
I've divorced. I've done all the drugs. What advice would you give me for this second half of my life that I'm looking forward to?
Do it with a smile and
Okay.
do it. I don't know.
Yeah, do it with a smile. I like that.
I have to because, like, if I get depressed and sad in
Yeah.
my older years, I'm just like, that does me no good. So that leads me back to the advice. I don't know where I got it from, but I always told Tyler, I said, life has peaks and valleys because Tyler has body issues like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And his man boobs have always bugged him.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, if you just make fun of yourself first before anybody else does, and you realize you'll never be perfect as long as
Yeah.
you're happy.
Yeah.
Peaks and valleys. Life is nothing but peaks and valleys. As long as you know there's a valley after that peak,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be okay. As long as you know there's a peak after that valley, and if you believe that to the end of your days, life will be easier.
I completely agree with that. I love
Totally.
that. I love that.
It's always going to go down.
And the thing about it is that, you know,
never be perfect.
The hardest things I've gone through, prison, divorce, addiction, you know, all I look back on those things, and those are the things I am most grateful for. I really am. Because suffering makes you grow. It forces you to learn.
Yeah.
As long as you're learning from something, you're never, you know, it's never a waste of time. You know what I mean? And I really think that's how we get through life and continue to grow.
But being loved is important too. Suffering and being loved. I have loved Tyler. I don't know. You guys will never probably meet my son, but if you do, just love who you love and love him with force.
Yes. Well, thank you. I will. I love people. I try to lift others up around me as much as I can. That's why I got Sean with me. He's the same way. And so
I like to look people in the eyes because nobody looks people in the eyes anymore, and it feels so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been doing customer service for 100 years.
Yeah.
And when I look people directly in the face and keep typing, it freaks them out.
Because nobody's connected anymore. Everybody's so disconnected.
Yeah. Yeah. So Sean's got a question. I can't read the last word.
Well, I'm curious. We have some more time, but I feel like we kind of skipped over
tons
your
of stuff.
transition
I'm
to,
very skippy.
like how you got to Florida and what that transition was like, because you were living in very conservative Indiana, and then you ended up in Florida with drag queens, and how that transition happened, and what that was like for you to be like a brand new environment like that you clearly embraced.
Right. So I saw all the people in Shelbyville and Waldron, and they were already buying their burial spots. And it freaked me out a little bit because I was like, is this it? Is this all that the world is having to offer? Mm-hmm. And at the time, the internet was getting big. It wasn't Facebook. What was the other one? MySpace was happening. And I had a hair salon in Shelbyville. And when I wasn't doing hair, I was on the internet because it was just new. And that's how I found boats and stuff for sale in Florida.
Oh, cool.
But anyway, I just wanted more. I just wanted more than Shelbyville. And I dated every eligible bachelor within a 20-mile radius. They all sucked. Dale Earnhardt shirts and work boots and calling me their old lady. Ugh.
So don't call women old lady. They don't like
Oh
that?
my God, no.
And not when you're in your 20s, man.
Oh my God, it was so country. Anyway, which I do like country. There is a time for it. I had a great childhood. But yeah, that's what led me to want greener pastures and different people and different stories. And oh my gosh, stories from people from Cuba.
Oh, wow.
I mean, just awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And I noticed when I moved back and I had lunch with all the people that I knew when I was younger, they didn't know. They didn't know. They didn't know. I remember I had lunch with the girl I grew up with in Waldron and her daughter. And we went to a Mexican restaurant. And I've been all over. I went to Mexico, I went to Guatemala, I went to Belize. I lived in Key West. Everything. And her daughter was appalled that the waiter guy had makeup on. And I was like, reminded of where I came from and the mindset of people that I did come from.
So
it shocked me.
So easily, or maybe you were probably
because I try to tell everybody's alike, no matter who. Everybody's alike. Everybody looks the same underneath.
Yes.
I mean, why are you so shy about your boobs? Because they look just like yours.
Yes.
You know, getting out of Shelbyville definitely helped.
Good.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
I encourage every young person that I hear wants
get
to
out.
I'm like, do it. I've lived all over the United States.
Yeah. Your opinion changes. Your views change. Your heart changes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's literally I've lived kind of all over the United States too, and I've traveled all over the world. And I have friends I message almost on a daily basis in Europe, Africa, like all over. And I mean, there's like, they are shocked for me all the time because I'm like, they'll like be talking about something like they're like, what is that? Like Americans, like you guys literally know nothing about the world. Like there's a whole world out there, guys.
People couldn't believe I lived in my sailboat. They were like, how? Did you live on top? I'm like, what? Are you fucking stupid? No, there's a whole bottom of the boat that you can live in. A fridge, everything, you know. You're very, that would be my opinion.
Okay.
Go out and travel before you have your family.
Yes, I agree. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're calling you an oldie but goodie. You're definitely the youngest we've had on here now, but we do consider ourselves the older generations of humanity.
Yeah.
And now that you're 51, what is it today that wakes you up in the morning and brings you joy in your life?
Today?
Not just like today, like at this time in your life. What is it that, you know, you've had all this experience. What do you live for? What brings you the most joy?
Right now, it's Tyler.
Yeah.
I'm focusing on him because I'm back now in Indiana, which is really cool. I finally found love for the first time in my life.
Oh, first time.
First time. I've never been married.
First
I guess
timer.
I'm going to get married. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. Tell us a little bit about Bobby. Okay.
Yeah. So he stalked me on Facebook, which that seems to be the new dating way. Because I don't go to bars. I'm allergic to alcohol, so it's been marijuana my whole life. I've never been drunk. Anyway, so he stalked me on Facebook. I didn't date for a long time. They would say I was asexual. Didn't even masturbate. Nothing. So anyway, he stalked me, and on his profile it said he was an ex-police chief. So I was like, you'll never mix with my family. Never mix with my family. Andy loves Trump. So yeah, anyway.
That's cool that you guys are able to get along and separate those two parts of your life, though.
And he loves my sassiness. He loves how bossy I am, which that's what I needed because most men are intimidated by that. I like to be on top. You know what I mean? Yeah. Most men are just like,
yeah, they want to dominate. They want to be the funny one. Like,
yeah, and I'm not dominant. I like both be dominant.
I agree. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, so anyway, and I've never been married before, and I knew I would never say I do unless I absolutely did.
Yeah. And you did.
we're not married yet.
Oh, but you do. You will,
Yeah,
right?
I said
Hey, Bobby,
yes.
if you're watching.
I said yes. So
Oh,
that's
cool.
farther than anybody else has ever
All
gotten.
right, cool. Well, we're excited. Can me and Sean come to the wedding?
Yeah, I mean,
right,
I don't want it
cool.
to be a big play.
Okay.
I feel like we'll just spend money on the honeymoon.
Yeah, no, that's
Fuck
what you
guys,
should do.
You know what I mean?
Weddings are
Yeah, I'm not even into.
It really is a waste of money,
It's all
man.
about
It's
the
so
government.
expensive.
Don't get me into that. It's all about money. But anyway, yeah. So we'll spend money on things we like.
Okay. Cool.
Probably go to the courthouse.
Good. Well, let us
Yeah.
know when you do that, and we'll have a little celebration or something.
Okay.
If you're okay with it.
Well, maybe in Michigan we'll get like a B&B in Michigan and,
Okay. All right.
and just
Cool.
have fun.
All right, Kelley. Well, thank you so much for
Well,
doing
thank
this.
you.
We're gonna wrap it up.
Wow.
See you guys next week.
Yay.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you. I'm sweaty.
No, you're fine. I'm
Okay. All right.